Here, Venus has an atmosphere pressure of around 0.9 bar, an average temperature of 111 F43, 8C, and an axial tilt of 6.26. I would imagine plants growing like desert plants on Earth, prickly like cacti, but in color to reflect more light, like pink, and animals would look similar to some animals from Earth like camels, snakes, tortoises, foxes, ants, worms, and wood frogs for their abilities to survive hot and/or cold environments. There would be light seasons because of the smaller axial tilt than Earth's. Marine life could range from some types of coral and algae. Rimosus is an asteroid with orange dust like Mars, with a radius of 35 kilometers. Rimosus has not much of water, but has cool formations and views like a mountain called Hansen Mons. The person who discovered it while zooming in on Rimosus through a telescope in Visum named it after his professor. Scratch-like landscapes, lunar eclipses, giant views of Venus, and being able to see Rimosus's shadow on Venus from Rimosus. Rimosus can obviously not have animals or plants, but if it were to have some water, which it has very little of, tardigrades or other resilient bacteria could form on Rimosus. Eve is like the little version of Venus. It is around half the size of the Moon by mass and radius, an atmosphere with a pressure of 0.7 bar, and an average temperature of 156 F68, 8C. It would not have complex life forms though, because of the mass and no protection against solar radiation. Only having protection when behind Venus, bacterial life could survive in areas not too exposed to the sun like caves in the water with still some light to survive through photosynthesis. Eve has insane views of Venus, either in sunsets, sunrises, night. Say, Venus is always in the sky. If you are in the side always facing Venus, since all of Venus's moons are tidally locked. Weather on Eve could be like weather on Earth's, but weaker or stronger depending on how high or low the air pressure has to be. Rain could exist and happen frequently from the faster water evaporation on Eve. Xoton is 40% the mass of the moon, and 30% the size of the moon. Xoton also does not have much water on it like Rimosus, but has many magma pools on it. There is a massive magma region on its south pole, and rivers of lava on its northern hemisphere. The average temperature here is 1 to 8 F53, 3C. Xoton also has a beige-colored surface. Here, you can see Venus from far away, and even see Venus and all of its moons in one night. The longest lunar eclipses in the Venus system happen here. The orbit of Xoton lasts around 10 days. There are 4 satellites in orbit around Venus: Venus Reconnaissance Orbiter, Venus Space Station Habitation Module, Venus System Orbit Satellite, and Venus Orbit Space Telescope. Vero was sent to Venus orbit to map and send updates about Venus's surface. Venus M is the first module of the Venus space station being built in Venus orbit. Vezo S was sent to orbit Venus to see Venus and its moons, to see solar eclipses and lunar eclipses from far away, while not being pulled by moons, avoiding that by being at an inclined orbit. Veos T was sent to Venus orbit to see things that telescopes from other places would not be able to see clearly, like when Mars satellites had to be used to photograph Comet 3I Atlas in late 2025.